South City became a neighborhood of choice for African Americans. Its most notable residents were political and civic leaders, entrepreneurs, doctors, civil rights activists, lawyers, and other professionals. Robert Reed Church Sr., the son of an enslaved seamstress and Irish riverboat captain, was the first African American millionaire in the South. His diverse business enterprises included land, commercial buildings, residential housing, saloons, and a hotel. Most of his wealth was acquired during the 1878 yellow fever epidemic. As white Memphians fled the city and property values decreased, Church seized the opportunity to increase his property holdings. Since African Americans were denied access to city parks and other recreational facilities, he built Church Park and Auditorium in 1899. Located on 6 acres at Beale and 4th Streets, it included a park, playground, bandstand, and a 2,200-seat auditorium. In 1906, Church was the founding president of Solvent Savings Bank and Trust Company, the first black bank in Memphis. When Church died in 1912, the Commercial Appeal newspaper described him as a Negro born a slave, rising from a cabin boy on a Mississippi River steamboat to the mastery of a fortune estimated at $1 million. Like Robert Church, Josiah T. Settle was born enslaved. His father, a white planter in Mississippi, freed his mother and siblings. Fearing their freedom may be jeopardized in Mississippi, he moved the family to Ohio, where he married Josiah's mother and legally gave them his name. After graduating from Howard University in 1875, Settle returned to Mississippi, where he had a distinguished legal and political career. He came to Memphis in 1885 and was soon appointed Assistant Attorney General of the Criminal Court for Shelby County. For many years, Settle was a delegate at the Republican National Convention and a member of the State Executive Committee. He was also a founding partner of Solvent Savings Bank. When Settle died in April 1915, a Commercial Appeal editorial stated, "There is no black man more worthy of respect and confidence than this Negro lawyer, as he has proven throughout his whole life." Born a free woman in 1852, Julia Britton Hooks was educated in classical music at Berea College. When she moved to Memphis in 1876, she became a prominent educator, musician, and activist. While working as a teacher and principal in the public schools, she grew frustrated with the conditions and established 2 private schools, Hooks Cottage School and Hooks Conservatory of Music. She and Anna Church, the wife of Robert Church, established the Litz Muller Club, the first African-American classical music society in Memphis. Due to the lack of juvenile court facilities for African-American youth, Hooks convinced Mayor E. H. Crump to establish a detention center for black offenders. The center, which opened in 1902, was located adjacent to her home on Lauderdale Street. By 1913, she and her husband Charles had cared for 1,639 children. Although Charles was killed in 1917 by a youth attempting to escape the center, she continued to work as an advocate for juvenile offenders. Julia Hooks died in 1942 at age 90. She had lived a long life with compassion, courage, and a strong belief in justice, equality, and good education for everyone. Ida B. Wells and Julia Hooks were longtime friends and fellow activists. Both publicly challenged the racial and social inequalities faced by black Memphians. Wells moved to Memphis from Holy Springs, Mississippi around 1882. Within 2 years, she was a certified teacher in the public school system. She soon became co-owner and editor of the Free Speech newspaper. Using the newspaper as a platform to discuss topical race issues, Wells harshly criticized the quality of black education in Memphis, causing her to lose her teaching position. Her life dramatically changed in 1892 when 3 black men, Thomas Moss, Calvin McDowell, and Will Stewart, were lynched by a white mob. Wells wrote a series of compelling editorials condemning the lynching and urged African Americans to leave Memphis. While she was traveling, enraged white citizens destroyed the newspaper offices and threatened her life if she returned to Memphis. Wells moved to Chicago, where she launched an international anti-lynching crusade and continued her work as an activist until her death in 1931. As the 20th century ushered in a modern era, These individuals and countless others used their positions and resources to counter pervading narratives of the Black experience. Their determination and commitment shaped the sociocultural landscape of South City and Greater Memphis.